Welcome to GameBreakers. My name is Thomas. I'm here with
Diamond. Hi.
And Allison.
And we are working on A Bard's Tale, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game.
Cool.
So when last we left our intrepid heroes, let's see, you had...
Severe errors. There was a glitch in the Matrix.
You had landed in the Delta of Flume, also known as the Delta Confederacy. Confederate States of Delta. Many, many names. Having done so and received your payment for the adventurous journey, you at the quartermaster's office met with Stan, the paladin, to deliver a package from the ship, and you happen to be traveling in the same direction. From there, a thief attempted to abscond with said package. You summarily hunted him down, knocked him out, brought him back to consciousness as the guard was tying him up. Let's see, you found out he was a half-orc affiliated with some sort of large guild of thieves, and that he was carrying a fake version of the relic that was delivered.
Clearly premeditated.
Clearly premeditated. And then in the last session, we had a bunch of technical issues, so we're gonna kind of start in right there, and I'll fix it in post. So the camera will pan in from there on your conversation with this now conscious orc, half orc. Looked fairly young. You guys had made intimidation and persuasion checks, if I remember correctly.
Did we try bribery? I feel like it's time for bribery.
I think we ended on going to try bribery, and I was there right there with you.
It was a 19 and a 22. He seemed reticent, but not hostile. And then you offered a bribe, and he warmed slightly. Well,
because I mean, if that's all it's gonna take for you to leave the city or maybe start a new life, like, you know, you do me a solid. I have a bag full of glittery gemstones.
let's not talk about this here. Take me away.
So I want to make a persuasion check for the guard who's attempting to take him to jail so that we can take him. Right? That's the implication there.
He's already offered to let you accompany him.
Oh, okay. We can just go then.
Yeah. Are you good with that?
I guess I'm playing a character that's like lawful, so I guess I should do that.
Okay.
So let's we'll go that way. I'll indicate to the guard that yes, we would like to accompany you to the where this gentleman's going.
No problem. Right this way.
So what's your name, kid?
What?
I'm addressing the half-orc. So what's your name?
It's not important.
Not important is an interesting name.
Important's a good surname, though.
Yeah. It's exactly the sort of thing I chat about in front of the guard. Yeah, my name. Huh. Funny that. And such delightful banter wanders along as you make your way through the
Stan will
crowd.
Stan will ask him to tell the dirtiest joke he knows.
The channel needs to remain advertiser friendly.
Does he take the
mature content, but he does. And it's in Orcish. Do you
does it end with the aristocrats?
If you were under 18, don't Google that.
If you do the Gilbert Godfrey one.
You see the guard like, oh. He clearly speaks lingo, but yeah, it's done. It's performed in Orcish.
Oh, the guttural sounds. That must. Yeah.
Can I roll performance to laugh at all the right places and make the right facial expressions?
You don't have to roll.
I don't have to roll. Okay.
So you guys get to the guardhouse. It's 3 little cells, 1 guard, and a little stable for patrol units. He sits him down in a cell, closes the door, looks at you expectantly. What do we do with
Who
him?
does?
The guard.
Yep. Okay. Can we talk to him privately? We might just... Maybe we can work something out.
I can't let him out of custody.
I'm not asking you to let him out of custody. I'm asking
you officially decide to drop charges.
Can we talk to him privately?
No.
We may be able to figure out the situation,
You
but
said
he
he's
doesn't
locked
seem...
Yeah, he is in my custody, and if anything happens to him, I'm to answer for it. So no.
I'll just stay on this side. I can stay on this side.
Can I roll a persuasion on that, please?
You could give it a shot.
All right, I don't think I have any buffs for this yet. No. Okay. So I rolled a 16. I have +3. So 19. And he says, this item has a lot of importance and it seems there's other people involved. He doesn't seem to want to talk in front of you. Can we just speak with him privately, please? He says it in a jovial way. Nice way.
Come on, bro, kind of way.
What's that?
A come on, bro, kind of way. Come on, bro. All good.
Here's
Come
the problem.
on.
Says, you, he points at the dwarf, are a foreigner, and you, he points at the paladin, have no jurisdiction here. If anything comes from, say, a bruise or any small complaint he could make, and he will, I'm the one who pays the fine.
Could you stick your fingers in your ear and go la 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 la? I guess I have an irritation.
If you don't trust guards in this city, you're not going to be staying for very long. And he takes a step back. Go ahead.
To go talk with him?
Yeah, I mean, there's like, it's a 15 by 15 room. There, like, you guys can go right up to the bars and speak quietly. Or if you have any silent stuff. Sure. But he is unyielding on the point.
All right. I will walk over to the jackass then.
He's leaning back. He's got his cowl down over his eyes. Looks like he's starting to take a nap.
Must have been a long day.
Yeah.
What do you know about where this thing we're looking for is going?
I was the decoy. That's all.
So you don't know where it was headed?
No. My job was to snip the purse, get spotted, and draw you away from where it was lying in the crowd. Somebody else was supposed to snatch it from there. Never got the fella's name.
And you didn't seem too cagey to be so sloppy.
I'll tell you, I wasn't running the job. It's not my plan. Like I said, decoy. No mastermind.
Whose plan was it?
I thought that question was going to be accompanied by the sound of clanking coin.
But one of these.
I do hear it has a therapeutic value.
What are you holding up?
Glittery
Strana?
topaz. The topaz.
Maybe not where the guard can see it. Stand
Yeah,
humble.
no, there's a like. Well, I can't do it like down here at my waist and the camera see it. So it's like
Stan, you know that there is nothing wrong with like the guards are not gonna have any issue with this. Their job is very much laissez-faire.
All right.
They have seen way
Go
more
ahead, then.
corruption.
Bribe the criminal. That's fine.
yeah. Easy come, easy go. Whatever.
He takes a look. You got 3 more?
I can't figure out how much topaz is worth in game. I'm having a really hard time with this. Seriously.
We'll look it up. Ultimately, what he's asking for is about 75 gold pieces worth of topaz.
I swear this was 50 last session. It was 50 last session.
Yeah, it was.
I might have 3 more of those. I might even have it in gold, but I mean, you're not getting any of it. We're not also well compensated.
Yeah, I know. But you ain't exactly in a position to just walk away, are you?
I kind of sort of am, actually.
All right. He looks at the
Like,
Paladin's just sort of glares at you. And then he looks back at the thief and he says, and he pulls out like 20 gold. It's been a while. I think 20 gold is significant.
It is. For a commoner, it's fantastic. He says, well, looks like between the two of you, we can do business.
I'll give it
found
to
a
him.
list and topaz isn't even on it.
We'll find it.
I take 20 out of my... There, carried. All right. So, whose plan was it? Since your memory's been refreshing. What's that?
There's some pirates out in the bogs. Swamp rats.
And they wanted it?
Fella named Masterson put together the plan.
Masterson.
Like, do I have to roll
Masterson of
something
the
to
Bog
success?
Pirates.
Do I have to roll something to successfully, like, flick the gemstone at him?
No.
Good, because Simon would have to.
All right, he collects your coin. Says when you get there, you give him this, and he pulls out a patch with 3 cutlasses in a diagonal line and 1 long tentacle crossing all 3. If it ever comes up, how you figure it out, go to them, you tell them you killed the fella, what was stealing it, and you found that patch on him.
Sounds
Anything
like
else?
what happened.
All sorts of information. I'm great for that. You seem to have gold to spare. Anything else you want to know? You're new to town, right? I'll give you a tour.
I don't know if I can get you out of here for a tour.
Hey, all you gotta do is just not ask the cops to do shit. No
Okay.
retribution necessary, right?
Perhaps the bard and I should speak privately.
Yeah. I ain't going nowhere. He goes back and puts his cowl back down.
Do you know, as we step aside, do you want to press charges?
I definitely don't want a tour by that guy. I'm indifferent to pressing charges or not, but it sort of feels like, how long do you think he's going to be here for? Like a day? Like, how long do we have to decide? Because
Probably.
if he's still here and we go down there and don't find anything, we can come back and be like, all right, I guess we're pressing charges. I don't know. Use your leverage while you got it.
I mean, I don't know if that falls under lawful good, though.
Probably not.
Freedom is important.
Anybody want to make a history test to know the law? Or intelligence if you don't have history?
Me?
Yeah. Anybody.
History?
I'll make a history test.
Yeah, you go for it. I got nothing. Hello, Dumpstat.
How about 8? My D20 rolled a 2. Deuces.
You're new here. Not really familiar with the protocol.
I guess I could roll. 11.
There is generally a holding period through the city. However, it's different district to district. So you live in the Dwarven district, you don't really know the dock districts. But yeah, there's generally an amount of time that they can be held without charges. So you guys are unclear on the law, but it seems like there should be. There are 2 guards just nearby that might not be stingy
Does
with
this
that.
mean we're going to invade a bunch of pirates? Basically.
With a hammer, yeah. I mean, if you want to come, it's my, it is, you transferred it to me.
I just want to go to the bank first.
This is actually a story about how you get to the bank. So, he did commit a crime, so I'm not super prone to just letting him go out of the goodness of my heart. But he did help us. He could help us.
I mean, the kid probably didn't have any choice. Like, it's not like he has many opportunities for advancement if he's, you know, a half-orc in a city that clearly is going to judge people based on their standing. Like, he's a half-orc. People assume, like, oh, he's strong and lifts shit. Look at how, like, he knew we were looking for him. Like, he wanted to be seen. Imagine how fantastic he could be given the right opportunities.
You hear a snort from down the way from the guard.
This is what I'm talking about.
Well, we can't fix society right at this very moment. So what are we going to do about this guy?
Pragmatically, let him sit in there for a while. Maybe we get back before he's released. Maybe we don't. Ask the guards if they'll hold him for the period, and if we don't show back up, then we're not going to press charges. How's that?
Sounds good.
Also gives him a chance to not be caught, which makes the story of we killed him a little bit more likely to be true. Or more likely to appear true.
All right, I'm down.
All right. So I'm going to ask
we'll approach the guards.
Yeah. Let her ask the guard. The guard doesn't like me.
Oh, he's still polite and civil. He was just taking no guff.
So Stan will walk up to the guard and say, we don't have charges to press right now. We have something to investigate, but we will, if you don't see us within the holding period, you can release him.
All right, 24 hours. See you tomorrow or not at all.
Have a watch.
Firm handshake. Man salute. Out.
The one at the desk jots something in a ledger, and you guys are now back in the open street.
Hey,
Okay.
we got a quest.
Side quest. At least it's not like killing 5 bears. So I guess you're leading with Atreyu here. Sorry. Whoa.
Yes.
Smell.
Atreyu, my steed.
So if I can direct your attention to the map.
Indeed.
Stan, you know that the area that they were talking about was around here. This is where you find bog pirates. That's where it's a problem. They don't go up to the Druid Grove much, but they do routinely raid this road, which is guarded mostly by rangers.
Yay, clicks happen.
So this area to the west is where such folk are to be found.
And we're currently here.
You are currently... No, you hadn't even made it to the market yet. You're here.
Oh my goodness. I feel like we should definitely go to the bank first.
Okay. I will accompany you to the bank. And I will
Well,
also roll something.
The district where the banking referral that you were given resides is here on the map.
I feel like
And
it's very important that I turn in all this chunk of money that I have to the bank so that I do not have it on my person.
Indeed.
Also with that dwarven, like, they're thieves. I didn't consider thieves. And see if there are any missives from my uncle. And I probably need to send him some before Like there's a like finishing of the last to prepare for the next. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And I was headed that direction as well, and I should go tell the people I was going to deliver it to that 'tis gone.
So what do you do?
We go our different ways. That direction.
Okay, you both head. So what mode of travel do you take?
My horse.
Okay, both.
Well,
Want to ride
I
my
mean,
horse?
at least as far as the district.
All right, I'm just going to do some calculations here. So that will take the rest of the day, traveling through the city.
We have to go try to
No.
talk to bog pirates now, don't we?
I guess there are flying mounts that we could take, right?
There are other modes of transportation that are potentially faster than your horse. It wouldn't take as much time to get to the bogs, only because of traffic. It's not city streets. Once you get into the green area, that is the cooperative agricultural city, there's a lot less congestion. What do you do?
I'm gonna have to lean on your expertise, Stan, because I don't know the best way to get there or not. I really want to finish a quest before I do another quest, but if we have to just go, right, the hero's journey, it's never easy or done quickly. There's no rest. Okay, bog pirates.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good to go to the bank, but it is a day's, most of the day's travel. And even with a flying mount, I think it would still take some time. Yeah.
A few hours.
Few
Well,
hours.
about a whole hour.
Few hours we probably don't have. Also, I'm really interested in seeing swamp octopi because I have never heard of bogtopi, and I mean, that could be cool.
Right.
So are you guys looking for a mount, hanging out at the guard shack?
I think we're trying to go to the bogs, more or less.
Yeah. Well, we'll head to the bogs. The only other option is if you want to split the party, you could go to the bank while I start toward destination. I just don't know how you'd find me.
I don't either. So we might as well. Onward.
All right.
Okay. Do you take your horse? Do you procure some other transportation?
Is would my horse is it like a swamp of sadness? Like, can my horse just go through this terrain?
You have never heard of something being.
Is this like Black Marsh territory? Like the roads work some of the times, but the rest of the time it's like mud like this thick or deeper?
There are.
Animals.
It is the worst road out of the city. It is the least used. The city walls on that side are broken down and in disrepair. It is the least patrolled. The druids maintain it, and so it stays passable. But this time of year, it's not bad.
Well, I would prefer to take my horse if it can if it can manage it.
Yeah, you've never heard of a horse crying itself into the underneath of the swamp.
Good.
Okay, so around about evening time, Sun's getting low, and you have crossed through the marketplace, the hustle and bustle, head down, eyes averted from anybody who's trying to sell you anything, I assume.
For the moment, unfortunately, yes.
All right. Halfway across the bridge to the septahedron, you are stopped and met with a guard asking for your papers. Stan, you have them.
I still. Oh, I forgot to get papers.
Present them.
Did I forget to get papers? I barely remember this conversation.
You got your papers of entry from the quartermaster, but you haven't gotten anything further than that.
Papers of entry.
Everything seems in order. How long do you plan to stay?
Not terribly. Well, I live in this in the other district.
You citizen are clearly allowed in whatever district you please.
Not terribly long. I don't actually know entirely where we're going. Are we just passing through, or are we going to be here for like, a day?
Perhaps a day, but not much longer. Mostly traveling through.
And you, sir, can vouch for the fact that this person is not a vagrant?
Yes, we are engaged in business currently.
Excellent. Well, good luck on your commerce. Have a pleasant journey.
Thank you.
Vagrant?
Good day.
Why did you think I was a vagrant? What a... Ah. She's like re-braiding her beard now. Appearance is very important.
To the cooperative, to your destination, heads across just the farthest outside road around the septahedron, which is the central governing facility. It's an ancient building. It was built before this city was resettled many wars ago. Civilization has been lost and found since this building was built. You've never seen anything like it, except, I mean, Stan has, because...
I don't come out here often.
From every angle, it looks to be an impossible shape. You have a sense that it works somehow, but it would require something on the other side that you don't really understand how the geometry would work, especially to keep it standing. And it stands a good 200 feet above the highest point of the artificial island, which has 70-foot sheer cliffs at like a pillar down into the sea. Well, the mouth of the river. From there, you cross another bridge, and halfway across the bridge, you are met by a guard. Hello, state your business, please.
After you, Stan.
I was thinking of a good way to explain what we're doing.
God, what is my business?
We're investigating the location of some missing property.
Under whose jurisdiction, if I might ask?
Well, it's my property. Who was I collecting this for?
The church?
The Temple of Moradin, the Dwarven sector, the Burg.
I was collecting it for the Temple of Moradin in the Dwarven district, but it was stolen in transit.
Are you acting
right out here.
as an official representative of Sartos Brent?
No, as an adventurer.
Oh.
Can I make a persuasion check? Maybe I said that with a lot of gusto.
Yeah, give me persuasion at this point, like after some chit chat.
Oh, 6. So 9 total. Damn it.
Look, the cooperative's not super into adventures. Can we get this officially sanctioned? Are you willing to take responsibility for anything that goes on under Santos Frank's jurisdiction?
Yes.
Excellent. He gestures over to a clerk. It's one of the side tables. He runs over with a ledger. You just sign here and here.
Wait, what am I signing?
Oh, some simple statement of responsibility. A waiver.
Okay.
Red tape is the death of adventure.
I'm just gonna really just roll intelligence. I rolled what?
It's basically like on the ledger. It's basically just name, title, city, purpose.
Oh, I know okay. What it is. But does he know what he's signing? Does he understand what he's signing? So he rolled an 8, so probably not. But he's gonna sign it anyway.
It's all legally.
We're big on informed consent, audience. We're big on informed consent.
Excellent. Thank you, Stan. He writes out a little ticket on, or writes some things and puts a stamp on a little ticket with green lining. Holds it out to you. This will do for 36 hours. After that, you'll have to register whatever complaint you have with the co-op, and they'll make some sort of cross-jurisdictional decision then.
He'll laugh, shake his hand after he takes it, and say, we only have 24. 36 is great.
I'm just gonna check the time. Okay.
Well then, best of luck to you. So this bridge dips down into very comparatively sparsely occupied. You can see across the river from here, dense, tall, clustered buildings. This is more like small village enclaves that are spaced half hour to an hour ride apart. The road is not very congested. It's very well maintained, very wide, large roads. You do see several large cargo trains, though. I mean, convoys, basically. Large wagons stacked high and wide with various grains and agricultural commodities. Herds of animals pass you on the road. And as evening goes, you reach what looks to be the last little settlement until you get to the wall. So about here on your map. And that's a great place for us to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is GameBreakers, A Bard's Tale. We are here with Diamond and Allison, continuing the adventures of Strana Hardjaw and Stan. So, as evening starts to descend, you guys make it to the inn in the last little farming village. Very few buildings clustered together, and the ones that are all very pragmatic. You see a lot of large agricultural, like silos, various herds of animals, flocks of things, and you reach an inn which is suitably pragmatic. It's one level. It's arranged in a horseshoe. There's a large central room that is the dining room and tavern. And then the rooms are all sort of kind of like a motel.
Think we could find out anything about the pirates in the tavern? I think
I
so.
think there's a good possibility.
Because it's getting towards dark, I presume.
I mean, I think there's definitely a good possibility, particularly if they're fond of bards. And if they're not fond of bards, I can probably fix that.
To the tavern! I know we said other stuff too, but that was the primary draw.
Yeah.
So it's fairly crowded in here. There's a good 40 or 50 people. Most of them seem to be large family units of farmers, taking a meal after a long day. There are a few other smaller groups, motley crew, really, all of them just sitting down having a nice dinner.
I think a nice dinner probably sounds like a good idea.
It's been a long day. How are you guys for rations for the day? I assume you stopped at an inn.
I have rations on me.
Okay.
I still haven't gotten to my thing that I want.
Share with the dwarf.
Wagon. Wagon.
Okay, is there food to order here?
Yeah, I mean, it's family style. They make a few things in large bulk, and everybody gets a couple of gets as much as they pay for.
So it's
I'll get a.
Is it fried chicken night at Samoa Cookhouse?
Braised broiled ox.
Okay. I mean, it's
Awesome.
not fried chicken.
Do you pay up front?
Yeah.
How much is it?
You head to the bar. Welcome. Silver apiece. Get you a plate.
Since she shared her rations with me, since Stan shared his rations with me earlier, I will pay for dinner, and also inquire about any delicious drink or the need for song or story.
He points behind him to a drink menu. Most of it is wheat ales and grain alcohol.
So water.
There's potato stock as well. Some vodkas.
Stan will pick an ale, a wheat ale.
I mean, it's like I should go for a stout. There's no option for stout or whiskey here. What's happening? This is totally being in the bar. That's the Bud Light, Coors Light kind of bar. Well, now they have Sierra Nevada, which is not better. Anyway. I guess I'll have a potato vodka. No, but really she'll be like, "Ooh, what do you like? What do you think I should have?"
He gives you the most expensive bottle.
What is it? There's not even a friendliness factor here.
And says it's 5 silver.
So you were going to tell me about the potentiality for storytelling or music playing.
Oh, sure. We regularly hire contractors.
Do you need one tonight?
I mean, we're already pretty packed. We don't need to pull anybody in. Maybe in a few hours, though. I mean, are you planning to stay the night?
I mean, Stan, realistically, we're not going to get back tonight.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, if you're planning to pick up rooms, here's what I can do for you. You prepay for the room. Perform whatever you like this evening. I'll contract you for the night. We'll put Big Gene over there at the door, pulling a copper apiece. Split it half and half. first part of my half goes to deduct from your room. How's that sound to you?
That sounds fine to me. I'm not even going to try and barter with the guy. And internally, I'm like, I just want to perform for a crowd again. I mean, she doesn't say that out loud, but that is internally. Who aren't gnomes?
Stan will say, "Oh, I'm glad that's settled. I'm starving," and he goes and gets food.
He hands you guys a couple of plate, dings a bell behind him twice. You can see there's a bustling kitchen behind him. You don't see any heads above the window, but there's stuff going on behind him.
Do you employ gnomes?
I mean, I'm required to employ any eligible citizen.
No, I'm just curious because you don't appear to have humans back there.
Charter. It's a family establishment.
Wow. It's like I'm completely unaware of the setting that we're in. I mean, these. Damn it.
You're in a farm town.
And I grew up in these places. My favorite places to eat continue to do this. Like, it's just, anyway. Let's have a little internal tantrum over here.
So, it's a few minutes. In the meantime, he throws drinks at a couple of the customers. So, you coming in or coming out?
Us?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. We were in. I didn't understand the question.
Oh, are you headed into town or out of town? We're kind of the waypoint in between. He points at the sign, the waypoint.
Potentially in. It sort of depends on how tonight goes.
All right.
What's
Come out to perform, did you?
possibly? What's on the way out? What do you know about the way out? Select dialogue. So give me some rumors. I'm selecting give me rumors dialogue.
Oh, the old road? It goes out south a ways, ends up at the desert. Plenty of roads across it, though. Few big towns along the way. I've never really been much past this point.
Stan will lean in closer and say more quietly, "I hear there's pirates."
Oh, yeah, road's not safe. Not always, anyway.
Do such people frequent this establishment?
No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Or no, sir. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would not accept their coin.
Good
Of
to know.
course, you can't always tell them on sight.
You run a good establishment here. I look forward to the food.
You're still wearing like your armor and
Yeah.
your crest and all that. Okay.
Moradin. Yes.
I want to, while she's chatting, also sort of listen to the room. Like, I don't know if I can roll a history check or a performance check or something, or just an awareness. But I'm listening for the conversations people are having to try and like have that set off memories that are tales or types of songs or something that is thematic to what's going on there. And sort of I'm making a playlist in my head.
I'll give you an insight check to read the room.
Okay.
Figure out what they might like.
Johnny Cash. Play Johnny Cash.
I like 22. 22's a good roll.
That's good. That's good. So, you kind of hone in on a folksy agrarian vibe. This isn't a dancing crowd, but you know,
They might like a body sing. They might like a good sing along. They may not want to get up and I mean, I can figure. Come on, I can figure that out. I'm looking for themes of what's going on. Are a lot of people talking about something that's concerning to them? Do more people have worried faces? Do more people have pleasant faces? Or do people just kind of tired and maybe want to be transported? Like, more the overall sort of theme of story.
So,
I got the genre.
You get a fairly good read on where this crowd is, and most of them are just fairly tired. They have ended a day of work. The conversations are primarily work related. This is I mean, you got there just after happy hour, so these are people just barely getting out of work mode. And most of their work is lifting things and chasing animals and putting stuff in the ground.
Okay.
Tending machinery.
So we're going with like Irish working songs and that one about the mule, O'Leary's mule.
Okay. That insight check will also identify a pack of one group of people who is not talking about the work of the day. They are having a spirited conversation about the water cycle, and you have spent enough time around druids to be able to key in on some of their insignias, modes of dress, things that mean things to other druids. You can't necessarily tell what they, but you know that.
Do I know enough about druids to know if it's okay if I just go up and interrupt them?
Druids are people.
No, they're not.
They tend to be less temperamental than other people, except when they're not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have us eat first and see if we can't get a table near them.
Okay.
Or a spot to sit, I guess, might be more clear. Near them.
You get through your first plate before a table clears next to them. Did you pick up that bottle of booze, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good way to share things with people.
Right. The bartender is very attentive. He sends his daughter out to serve Stan.
Yeah, I figured as much. I mean, whatever. But I'm a little I haven't been to a bar in so long. I've been a whole world away. A little bit of celebrating being alive because giant birds. I'm going to tell you the story about the giant birds. What I'm going to do, Stan. Birds breathe fire.
I'm always up for a good story, he says.
We're going to get along just fine.
Struana, reading the room. You also notice that Stan seems to have some amount of recognition in this crowd.
Good or bad?
Good. Glasses raised. Like a lot of people go a little wide-eyed and then whisper to their friends. You took the folk hero background, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they know you here?
No, I don't know if they know me. They know of me. I gained some notoriety fighting in the last war. Saved some villages. You know, like you do. I haven't really fleshed that out. He probably would have a good story for it.
Well, now's the time. I've done this to Diamond a couple of times. Like, character flesh out time now.
The great part is it's just whatever comes out of my mouth. Give me more. Come on. I'm gonna try and write like at least a very brief like Hero of Canton style song. Just very quickly. Because I could do a really basic chord essentially and simple rhyming couplet sort of thing. Sing along. Come on.
Well, what was the last war in this region? It was against the exterior hordes, right? That's what he mostly does. He's involved with.
Most of the fighting that's happened within your lifetime has either been incursions of monsters into the Dwarven Mountains or large, like, two big bands of pirates. Like some pirate warlord organizes the folks in the swamp, and it gets problematic. Those are the two things that happen within your lifetime. There haven't been any like nation-state wars. The cities have never gone to war. The Dragon's Peace keeps that from happening.
Okay. So I suppose it would have either been bog pirates or monsters. I like monsters in the Dwarven districts. That's where he hangs out most. So he would. You have any suggestions for monsters from that region, Thomas?
The mountains.
Juggernaut? I don't know.
The mountains contain a lot of gnolls and orcs, as well as in the Dwarven district. There's also the fact that you've gone deep into the mountain. And you start to get into goblinoids and kobolds and other underground critters.
Prevented a goblin invasion? I like that.
It was you against 50 kobolds, and you smote them with your smitey hammer.
Right.
I did. And it shows you the hammer, and it's like, I got this dent and that. Fight. And there's this stain. Oh man, that kobold bled so much.
There's just one long tunnel that was 10 feet across, and you just held it for reinforcements. Yep. All right.
I want to interrupt the druids. And I mean, I say that rudely, but I want to actually walk over and be like, "Can I buy you a beverage?"
Why, yes.
What are you having?
Oh, there's a lovely berry wheat. I think we'll take a picture of that. Thanks.
Ask the daughter to bring that, and also start, engaging with them about. I'm really bad at the like actual player level and better at the meta level right now. But try to engage with them a little bit about the druid circle at home.
Okay. There is one elf and two youngish humanoids, probably teenagers. Humanoid.
Is the elf also a teenager?
Elves are hard to pin down.
Well, he's not ancient.
He's an adult.
So conversing about the college circle and some of the engagement there, and looking for common ground, like people we've met, things we know about. God, this is so easy when I'm doing it in real life.
There
you got
is
any
a grove nearby. Says the elf.
Oh, really?
Clearly, you are worldly enough to notice a druid when you see one. Have a seat. We can talk. The two juveniles or two teenagers just instantly make room. From the conversation you were overhearing, it was basically him explaining to them how wrong they were about several basic assumptions.
About druids or about life?
About water.
Magic or science?
Knowledge, nature.
Where are you? What is you make me roll it enough. I should have put points in it. Again, frick.
Turns
Frick.
out there's nature everywhere.
10.
10. You know that to the druids, there's not much of a difference.
I'm asking if they were talking about the properties of water that like make it goop up, or
They were talking. He was telling them about the way it cycles through the environment around them.
Okay, so I'm going to engage in that conversation a little bit. Like, I heard you, I overheard this and this part, and how did we get on this conversational topic? Conversations are hard when you're having them meta.
Yeah, I know. That's why I keep trying to get into character. Well, have a seat.
Seriously, I need you to start, Thomas.
I mean, he continues speaking for a while. If you let him, he'll just keep going. Pretty soon he'll start telling you why you're wrong, too.
So, there's a druid grove nearby. Which direction is it?
It's true. It's to the south. The munificent Cypress Estuary. It's a teaching grove.
Is that where you two are learning?
They nod.
Thomas, when you say to the south, do you mean south of where we presently are within the districts, or like south in the swamps?
South of this very position that is getting pinged on the map, which is where you are.
Have you all had any difficulties with pirates?
Yes, on a fairly regular basis. We maintain a force of rangers in order to deal with the problem. It's impossible to clear out defense. There's just too much area and too many places to hide valuables. Thankfully, there's a lot of violent wildlife out there that are happy to help maintain the area for us.
We're trying to reach out and potentially find those pirates. You see, they've stolen something from this friend of mine here, and she needs it back. He needs it back. Dang it, Allison.
Well, there are many bands. They come in many stripes. Most of them don't work together.
Do you know if they have any ways of identifying themselves?
There's various marks, flags.
You know
facial
Mastus?
Masterson?
Yeah.
Heard the name.
You know where we might find him?
Out in the swamp.
Any particular part? It sounds like there's lots of factions.
It's true. They're mobile. That's part of the problem with dealing with them. They'll have swamp boats out there. Various ways of getting around. The rivers and marshlands are easily traversed, and they keep mobile.
Wonder how we would contact them if we needed to, as if other people would.
There is a way that the druids use when it's time to make peace, or if messages need to be sent various ways.
Oh, it's that way.
A series of messengers, individuals that we can call upon. The means exist to get a message out. It's the best I could offer for you.
That would absolutely, I mean, that would assist us greatly. I'm sure that Stan, what's your church?
Morden, Temple of Morden.
Temple of Morden. I know that I personally would be incredibly grateful, and that the Temple of Morden, I'm sure, would be very grateful as well. Goes a long way for coexistence.
If I may ask what it is that you are looking for.
I'm going to look at Stan expectantly, because I don't want to be the one who makes the mistake here.
It's an item
That's
that they
Stan.
took great care to procure in preparation. I don't know why, though. Didn't seem like that it was that valuable. Says the character of 10 intelligence.
Well, it's valuable enough for you to come all the way out here and attempt to get a meeting with a pirate.
Also, it's
On the
I don't
upside,
doubt
this
you
is
would.
delicious food.
Also, it's a great story.
I see.
For a good adventure.
Are you all going to stick around for the show?
Oh, these two have to get by. Get back to the Grove. I've got time. I don't sleep much.
Why are all of your, like, teacher people so damn serious? Except for that one. He was great.
The Middle Ages, nobody was happy.
Yes. All right. So I'd love it if you stick around and listen. Anyway.
Certainly.
Maybe we can speak in more detail after.
It's possible.
And something to the teenagers, the extent of, like, and listen to the stories of your elders or of your teachers. Finger shaking, and also don't forget to have fun. Get into trouble. Don't get into trouble.
Well, thank you for the round.
My pleasure.
He says something in another language that I know neither of you speak. And those two take right off.
Are we done eating yet, Stan? I don't know. Like, eating, listening, a little bit of drink, and it's time to perform. Sort of the way
Yeah,
that
you
goes.
go for it. I'm part of the audience. I'll try to clap and laugh at all the right parts. I don't promise any tears.
Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Yeah. I knew that was coming. I don't know how I knew that. Hey, dice. Where's it?
And I will give you advantage from having spent some time reading the room and figuring out what your audience wants.
That's a good thing. So 19.
Okay. I'm going to say that pays for your room and puts a silver in your pocket.
So there's an additional, like, level with it where I'm going to do that. One of the things is going to be a retelling of a story about how cutlasses came to be. Very how true stories sort of thing.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying about that? Like, I want cutlasses to be part of that there, because I'm looking for, like, specific recognitions in the audience, and some tale that might be important for druidic history or lore. Doing a like there's the the bunch that is mostly for the audience, and then there's the like, and this one's for the people who think about pirates, and this one's for the druid in the corner. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Only without being quite that heavy-handed, obvious.
Well, with a 19, it doesn't come across as heavy-handed.
Yay!
Stan, what do you
Hey, thanks for
do
the-
whilst playing?
What's that? What do? I participate in the audience. I don't know if I can give her. I know she already did well, but I don't know if I can give her a bonus.
Not really. You don't have the skill.
That is correct.
You just clap loud.
But yeah,
Laugh
you know,
at the right times.
he has a loud, boisterous laugh. He tries to use it at the right parts. You know, you're a good storyteller. I'm sure it's not hard.
Did I get far enough in being able to like write a little mini Hero of Canton song for Stan to be able to actually like perform just a couple of couplets?
Yeah, I think so. I think he probably it would be good to add that he rescued people that were trapped by goblins.
Yeah, make it it's a story, making it a.
Yeah.
I'm making him a tall tale. I'm giving the folk hero a song.
Well, they were already buying you drinks by this point, so.
Yeah.
Oh
but
God, and I should roll some sort of temperance thing, right? Because that's a flaw of mine. Drinking. Do I need to roll, or do I just drink a lot?
In D&D, there's no real like mechanic for your personality flaws, but I know it's on your sheet, so do what you like with it. I trust you as a player.
All right. Do we still have willpower? Is that a thing that we still have in this game?
No,
Okay.
it's wisdom, like basically things that apply to force of will, wisdom or charisma.
You could roll a persuasion check against yourself.
Ha!
I'll often just roll a d20 and it's like, evens or odds. Or if I get over 10, I'm not an idiot. If I get under 10, I start laughing a lot.
So I drink a little too much. I rolled for it and added my wisdom, but got for 13.
So you kind of forget when to stop saying yes to the free drinks. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, but like, you know, as the blackout point reaches, it's like, wait, no, stop. So I would say, yeah, doesn't quite go all the way there.
Right, you start switching up to water.
The
Well,
other,
you've got, says the bartender. Thanks for the haul.
I just want to say it because even though we've already established that I did a good job, but using cantrips as part of their performance, non-dangerous ones. What?
I assumed.
Okay. And you know, the fire flares at the right time. Yeah. Stuff happens. Makes it cool.
Ooh.
Right, the big finish.
Yeah. Dancing lights, minor illusion, these are things. Anyway.
You get a lot of applause. A lot of personal validation. I know performers
Yep.
get that.
It's absolutely, yep, I'm just bathing in it. It's great. Mm. Okay, so following this, let's go talk to that druid about getting a message to the pirate, Maston.
What do we want to tell him? Hey, give us our thing back? Doesn't seem like a great strategy, but I don't know what else to say. You could threaten him.
I mean, that doesn't really work, though. Like, give us our bone or we'll hurt you. But maybe
Maybe
we'd
if we
like
wrote it in blood.
Or just warn him of that in the first place. It's
maybe like we'd like to negotiate for the return of this. Daring
Hard enough
Bard would
playing a
like to
sneaky
negotiate for
character.
the return of Paladin's bone.
You know, I'm really proud of us for not making any boner jokes until just now.
no.
I mean, that's because we're boned.
So we can send something to negotiate. That's not a bad plan. I can't mail my hammer.
No, we want a meeting to negotiate, I think would be more appropriate.
Hmm.
Is
Well,
there
you're probably
a place,
a better writer.
asking the druid, is there a place where you would normally meet?
Have you approached the druid yet? I thought you guys were having a planning chat before you went to him.
Oh, yeah, you're right, we were. I was just segueing to the part where I start talking to him.
Right, skipping into the middle of the next conversation. No.
Yeah. This is how it works in real life. So approach the druid, especially before he might leave, and like initiate what he thought of that rendition of that particular druidic tale, as if his opinion is very important to me.
Okay. Well, I have very little ear for music, but I liked the flashy magic. It's a well-told tale.
That's very kind of you. Trying to figure out phrasing.
Phrasing, boom!
Yeah. We briefly discussed earlier that you may have an opportunity to send messages to Matheson. Was that the name?
Masterson.
Matheson. And I was wondering if additionally there's a place that you would typically, or representatives would typically meet him or his representatives for peace discussions.
The Grove.
Would we be able to use it in the same way for a discussion of the return of an artifact?
There are neutral spaces maintained for negotiation, yes.
Yeah, I got no read on the guy, so is it possible for us to...
He is super hard to read. Like, this isn't just me like, playing it
It's not
flat.
just you being a jerk. It's just you being a GM.
He's very serene, very calm, very sure of himself. He picks his words carefully. He's very average looking. I mean, for an elf. I mean, he has all the fine features of an elf, but carries himself with a presence, and it's very hard to read.
Not barking up the wrong tree when you've only found one tree. So I'm going to just ask him if it's possible if we could utilize those services.
Yes, it is absolutely possible.
What would we need?
We need to send a letter first.
Well, yeah. I by those services I meant the sending message and then space for negotiation.
The messaging, that's a little different. Have you ever worked with druids before?
Yes. And
excellent. Do you have a reference?
Do I have a what?
A reference. Someone who can speak to your worthiness.
I do. Pause. I gotta find the character name. Hold on. Important. And I had my music folder open because I was trying to find the name of that song. Adventures of Strana. I can't remember the name of the druids in the grove in the place. But clearly I was hanging out with the druids in the grove in the place. So do you want me to just come up with the druid name?
I don't think you had any specific friends. We did some rolls.
But I would have had some specific teachers.
A few, but do they remember you? We established you had. We actually went through your commencement bit and hit a couple of the ones that did know you. So
yeah, I just can't find their names.
Well,
wait,
it occurs to you
Triana and Shoshana
that you do know some druid spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one way to get them.
Okay. So, yes, but being a bard, I didn't quite stand out in the same way that, for example, your students would. And still, Druidcraft does Weather Ball, but it also does other things. Give me a second.
Simple manifestations of element, gust of wind, like that.
Yeah. I like the tiny little humidity in the air quickly turns to snow. I like that one.
Okay.
I mean, I'm basically making that up, but that works within the confines of it. Like small little, and it's snowing in my hand.
Okay.
Right.
He looks, an acolyte. I see. It's good to see interest from the other realms. So, you would like to send a message then?
Yes, sir.
What would you like to say?
Stan, do you have a last name?
maybe. Smith? I mean, he was involved in blacksmith.
Stan Smith.
So Smith is the name I remember as well.
So, you wouldn't be a messenger. You wouldn't be an avatar. Would you call yourself a servant of the Temple of Mordan? Morden?
Briefly, paladins are indeed avatars of deity.
Okay. And
They
is
work
that hers?
but are not subject to them.
So,
Right, I'm an avatar.
So the avatar of Mordan, Stan Smith, and I don't want to say and a bard.
Shall I put and company?
And company works. Would like to negotiate for the safe return of the dwarven relic.
Well, I can send this along. I'll tell you now, there's very little hope of response.
What would you suggest?
Do you know why it was stolen? Is it easily fenced? Particularly valuable?
So I have no
easily
idea.
Fenced.
Yeah, I don't know why it's stolen, but since there's only one, I'm going to go with not easily fenced. That's like cheat code level of fencing.
Could I do an insight roll? Would that be useful?
I'll allow it. Try to think like a criminal.
I think that it might have been stolen just, honestly, for somebody else. Because it's powerful, I don't know that personally. I just sort of assume that it must be powerful. I mean,
just 10.
Magic users. Something about magic's going to be in there. That was a contract. I expect that was a contract.
Well, Marcuson is not known for breaking his contracts. In so much as there is any honor amongst pirates, he is known to keep his word. Often to the detriment of his enemies. He makes some very bloody promises. But he keeps them.
Assuming it's a contract, then, who would have contracted? Well, I guess that's a dumb question.
There are
In the
no
city-
foolish questions, only fools who ask them. Go on.
Thanks. And who would contract for a powerful dwarven artifact that may or may not have, be magical or be able to be made magical, but definitely has magical value to collectors or maybe necromancers? Maybe that's just me. I might be reading too much into that.
Do you think it went to the bog, or do you think it went to the docks? If it's a contract.
Get stuff out of either. Ah!
If it's a contract, they have to take it to somebody. Did they do that tonight? Or did they take it back to the bog tonight?
It's a thigh bone.
Put
Do I have like a
yourselves,
find villain sheet? What?
put yourselves in their shoes. You want this relic. And you're the sort of person who will hire pirates to employ thieves to get them.
You're exceptionally wealthy, and the best that we can do is figure out your name and steal it back from you.
I can't think of anything Marcuson would use this for. He tends to prefer gold, jewels, and slaves. He has no skill with the arcane or with religious relics. And without knowing who might have employed him, he left only with assumptions, right?
Yep. So another trail of information. So, how
Tell
do
me
we
Tell me about this relic.
I'm counting down from 5 to give Stan a second to tell me not to.
The thigh bone itself was a petrified femur from one of a group of war priest saints that, as their final acts, they become one with the stone and petrify.
So that, only it's carved.
Hmm. There are a range of potential uses for an item such as that. If I'm not mistaken, was that not recently deconstructed
That's correct.
Oh, mother. That's what I thought. That's concerning.
How so?
I'm vaguely familiar with the use of the item in question.
I need to practice my give me information.
It is an altar meant to spoil an entire patch of land. City's worth, if it's done, if it at its full power. Worse, it mobilizes the dead into undeath.
It's like hard to ask, hey, who wants to destroy the city? But who wants to destroy the city and also talks to pirates?
Now the
Dan knows
intention
enough about magic.
to use this in some other powerful magic. It contains all the elements of potential for magic use as an ingredient, various things. But if someone wants to put the altar back together, that concerns me.
How do we stop it?
Well, if they were going to be reassembling it and they wanted to make an area fallow or something like that, it would have to be in some place that either had a lot of dead folks or like a graveyard, or be someplace where they could take it over, or make fallow, like in the green district.
Agriculture, and also, weren't there just a ton of wars here?
Not recently.
So, I really do think that just speaking to him is probably most appropriate.
Well, I can't be honest and give you hope for good results, but if that's what you wish.
Well, even just.
Do we want to change the content of the message?
Do you have a more recommended course of action? Listen, while I look up the word that I want.
Do you know how else we could find him?
Well, the item has to get from the dock districts, right, out to here.
Yeah.
Presumably, that was done by flight. If I were shelling out money to procure a valuable item, I wouldn't skimp on transport speed, right?
Makes sense.
And to continue that train of thought, only a few methods of conveyance make it this far out. And so, there are only a few places such a thing could land. There are those in the grove that can track.
What are those methods?
From here, really only giant eagles are viable.
They only show up when the plot convenience needs to be.
The plot totally needs some convenience right now.
The nearest landing point is at the end of the wall.
Okay.
Well, it seems like that might be where we start.
We could use someone for tracking, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we also Should we also send a message?
We could. It's not as necessary if we plan to ambush them. But it's good to have a backup, I suppose.
I think it's more like we're gonna have to just track it there. So maybe
Can we send him spam?
nah, he'll only send he'll only send representatives. I don't know. I think that if we have a direct line to try and get to them, that's going to be better. How would we get in contact with one of these rangers? I mean,
When I return to the Grove this evening, I can simply recommend one who's interested in the opportunity.
Excellent.
Good.
Another bear!
If any are interested, I'll have him meet you at the Eagle Area, the end of the wall.
That would be great. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much.
Is there
Stan
anything?
is like too touchy right now. He's that drunk. He's that sort of drunk. Like it's not too rude yet, but it's a little uncomfortable.
Like you've
Probably
had
especially for the
your hand on his shoulder for a little bit too long, but
Yeah.
okay.
Something about like when this is finished, can I come visit because druid groves are soothing? Maybe learn more. Blah blah blah. Sentence.
There are areas of the Grove that are open to the public or to those wishing to commune. Certainly, of course, the more sacred areas are kept for the consecrated.
Okay.
Thank you so much for all your help.
Well,
That
don't thank me yet. Nothing's been accomplished but talk.
Ah, but that's the first step. Another bear!
very meta.
And since now there is a task, I shall bid you good evening and wish you well along your way.
The same
Stan.
to you, sir. Thank you.
Tirana. And he steps up and sort of just floats out the door. His movement is very, very smooth.
I like
Well,
that.
You can see as he exits the building through the window, he simply walks into the tree in the courtyard and disappears.
That just seems like showing off. I don't know.
well, there's a reason that we got along all right. I think that I like that he is mostly helpful, despite being flat-facing McFlat-facerton. At least we can sleep first.
Yes. If you guys would like to take the rest of the evening, rest, and we can actually, it's getting a bit late, we could start again in the morning with, as I understand it, a new player that might be a ranger.
Yes.
We'll see how that turns out, the nature of games. But in the meantime, if you like what we do, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of what we do, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to see us do what we do better, hop over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/GameBreakers, and take a look at supporting us. I'm Thomas. This is Diamond and Allison. Have a good game.
Ciao, mate.
Good game.